Hey guys, Dan from DPS Breakdowns here. Let's take a look at a few sequences from the recent match between Seth Gross and Roman Bravo Young. Here's the first sequence. Really nice shot by Bravo Young, but Gross is going to be stubborn here, as he always is, and defend really well. Build up to both knees, eventually to the feet, and neither guy is going to score here, so let's take a closer look. So first is going to be the shot. Watch how Bravo Young's going to bring that left foot behind. He's going to push, he's going to get in that staggered stance, push off his back foot, right knee drops, and then he's going to bring his left knee forward as well, right here. And this is going to, stepping that back leg forward, it's going to allow him to get his hips underneath, make it easier finish here. And right away you can see Gross is looking for that far ankle. Even when you get in deep on him, it's kind of just the beginning. Usually you have to go through all these levels of layers of defense that he'll have. And so Bravo Young looks like he's in a really dominant position here. He's got Gross stuck on his hip. He's got both legs controlled. And you can see Gross is looking for the far ankle, and Bravo Young's going to move it away. And Gross is eventually just going to settle on the crotch lock grip here. So he's going to have an S grip. And you can see Bravo Young is doing a really good job of controlling Gross's bottom leg. So Gross is on his left hip, and the key leg here for Gross, what he wants to do is he wants to get his hips pointed to the ground, then he wants to get to both knees and maybe even build up to the feet. To do that, he needs to thread that left leg underneath to be able to get to his knee. And you can see Bravo Young is really kind of stopping it here. So it's a really smart way to shut down the belly down. But look at Crafty Gross here. He's going to use his foot, his other foot, to kick, to free his left leg here. So he frees, and as soon as he does that, he gets to both knees. And then once he gets to both knees, he's going to be able to use that. He's going to have a lot more power and be able to use that crotch lock grip he has to off balance RBY, get to both feet, and now sort of turn the tables and get in an offensive type position himself. You can see he goes for the cradle, gets really close here, not able to lock it in, and RBY is going to get to the feet. Let's see it one more time, regular speed. Next sequence. Stalemate. This is a pretty interesting scramble. You can see how it starts here. Gross is going to have this 2-on-1 grip. He's got his right hand on the wrist, his left hand on the tricep. And he's going to hip in here. So the judo guys might recognize this. Looks like an uchi. What he's looking to do is kick the inner thigh here. Now it doesn't look like he's committing to the point where he wants to actually finish the throw, but it's going to act as a trip. So he's going to kick in. Bravo Young, and as soon as he kicks in here, look how his left hand that was on the tricep switches to that far waist control here. Bravo Young's gonna lose his balance, fall over, but he does manage to get his left leg behind him here, so it's gonna turn into this single leg situation. Gross does a good job. You can see how he shelves RBY's foot on his left hip here, and now he's just looking to build up to his feet. But as he does that, RBY is going to funk roll. So this is a very common counter in folk style wrestling. You don't see it quite as much in freestyle because you can actually have points scored against you by exposing your back like that. But in folk style, there's no penalty, so you see it a lot more. It's a really effective way to disrupt someone's base. So right now, Gross has a big advantage. He's coming up on a single leg. He's on both feet already. RBY has the option now though to roll through. So look, it's like inverting underneath. He's gonna land on his upper back to the mat, and he's gonna generate a great deal of momentum as he does that, and it's gonna propel Gross forward. And you can see how Gross completely loses his base here. So right now he's on both feet, great base. As he falls through, he's no longer on his feet. Not only that, the leg that he had, you can see he has the leg with his left arm, Gross's left arm. As he comes through, look at which hand has to post. It's his left hand. So he no longer has control of RBY's leg that he had previously. And you can see here how the leg is free, RBY's right leg. Meanwhile, while Gross is falling, RBY is building his base up. And when he did the roll, you can see how he hooked one leg. So as he comes up, he has a leg now. So that's why the funk roll can be very effective. It just totally disrupts the base, and oftentimes, even if you're not able to reverse the position with it, it's gonna force your opponent to post their hands and lose control of your legs, because at that point they're a little more concerned with their base than trying to finish the single leg. But Gross is savvy here. Even though he temporarily leaves the leg to post, he's gonna come right back to it here. So he comes right back to that right foot of RBY. And even though RBY is in a good position here, he's not gonna be able to get the takedown. You can't quite see it from this angle, but right here. So Gross has straightened out the leg, he has the ankle. And what he's doing is subtle, but he's elevating the foot off the ground. So RBY is not able to put weight on that front foot. The leg's hyperextended here. Maybe not hyperextended, but extended to the point where the leg is gonna be very weak, and he's right at the heel, elevating the foot off the ground. And so there's just very, very little for RBY to do here, other than just kind of wait it out. As you can see, he's trying to fight the hands, but Gross is strong here. He's just gonna keep it. And eventually they'll stalemate it, restart it. So just one more time on that one. So here, RBY is gonna have a nice counter attack, but Gross is gonna flip it on him here. He's gonna get that inside leg control, gets his two, and now he hits this really cool turn, this spladle maneuver, and he's gonna get a couple back points. And RBY is actually gonna flip it at the end, gonna reverse it. The net difference, it'll be 4 points for Gross there, 2 points for RBY when it's all said and done. So one thing RBY is so good at, he's very quick, but he's also just very, very good awareness. Whenever he's able to get in this like front headlock position, whether off of a snap down or oftentimes off of an opponent's shot, he's looking to take his single leg right away. So he's gonna move to his right, and he's grabbing that single leg here. He's gonna step his right leg over as well. So this is a really good time. One of the best times to score on somebody is when they're in this bad position of having just shot and missed here. So their base is not as good as it would normally be when they're on the feet. Much more susceptible to these counter offense maneuvers. So RBY is on the single. But Gross is gonna do a great job controlling RBY's right arm here. So he's gonna be gripping right at the bicep. He's gonna pull that arm forward, and he's gonna grab it with both hands. So he gets a 2-on-1 here. And he's gonna wrench RBY's head down to the mat. So he uses that 2-on-1 control, pulls the head to the mat, and look how he's driving. Gross is gonna be driving, especially off that right foot. He's really pushing, and he's gonna break RBY down to this position here. So it breaks him down to the knees and then even the hips here. So here, Gross is gonna opt for this inside leg control. So he's gonna take his left leg and he's gonna put it in the middle. He's gonna hook RBY's right leg here. This is gonna be 2 points for the takedown, but he's gonna quickly transition to the spladle position. So he has that initial leg control with his left leg. He's got RBY's right leg controlled. Now he's gonna look to control the other leg. So he's gonna grab right at the heel, and instead of trying to like pull the heel to him, he's gonna just put a stopper on it with his hands, and he's gonna drive RBY over that now immobilized leg. So he's driving, really pushing off that right foot, breaks him down to his hip, and he's gonna continue to drive off of his right foot, continues to elevate that ankle at this point, and here we are. So he's got, again, he still has that hooked leg control, and then he has both of his hands on the other leg, on RBY's, that'd be his left leg. And he's getting back points. So he has back exposure here. RBY's in a pretty bad spot, pretty stuck. Not much he can do quite yet. This is when he gets out though. So watch how RBY uses his hand. He finds the elbow, pushes his head out. So once his head slips out, he's in a much better position to start escaping. He's gonna get his hip down to the ground, and he's gonna loop his right elbow here over the hip. And at this point, it gets interesting because that hooked leg that Gross had been using actually becomes a liability at this point. RBY is going to use that against him, use it against Gross, turn into him. Gross is not going to be able to get his hips to the mat or square his hips down to the mat because his own leg is trapped at this point. And it's going to be a 2-point reversal here. So just quickly going through again. RBY is in on the single. Gross pulls that arm through, really just viciously wrenches him down to the mat with that 2-on-1. You can see here just how much better his positioning is. He's on both feet. Hooks the inside leg, gets his 2, and right away sees RBY in this tripod, sees that he's susceptible to the spladle, blocks the far ankle, drives him over it, and then rolls him to his back here. RBY is gonna eventually, see right now how RBY's head is stuck, but once he frees his head right here, he's in a much better position. He's gonna drape his right elbow to the far hip, turn his hips down, and get his 2. One more time, full speed. A single leg from RBY. Really nice clean finish on this one. So he's gonna shoot in, right knee hits, left knee follows. He's going for a double initially, but he's gonna switch off to his single here. So he gets the foot off the mat, elevates it, good head position, back straight. And watch how he RBY brings his right foot back. So it's almost like he's taking another shot. It's one way to think about it. He's not gonna actually hit the mat, but he's using that back leg, what's now his back leg right here, as power. So he's gonna drive off of that. He's gonna reach with his left arm. So you want the leg that's in front. It makes more sense if that's the arm that's gonna be, that arm is the one that's reaching. So he's gonna keep his left leg forward. He's gonna reach with his left hand, finds that free leg, and he's gonna put his head right in the sternum and just drive in here. About as clean as it gets on someone like Gross. Great way to take down a really good scrambler. Sounds quite obvious, but if you can get both of their legs tied up like that, it greatly limits the maneuvers that they're normally able to do when you're in on a single. So here, shoots for the double, switches to a single, and then basically comes right back to the double. Drops his right leg back, left leg reaches, grabs the outside of the knee, uses his head, and watch how he runs his feet too. Looks to hook the leg at the end there. Really nice. Last time. So nice single leg by RBY. And now Gross is the one doing the funk roll. Guys are gonna battle for the base here, and the ref is gonna call it for potentially dangerous. So, good looking single leg. Watch how RBY is gonna bring his left hand to the elbow just before he shoots, right here. You used to see Nolf do this all the time. Really just hit the elbow up, shoot in. Great head position, heads up, back is relatively straight. It's gonna step over the leg. And here comes a limp arm. So he's gonna post, RBY posts the left hand. Right arm's gonna limp out, and it looks now like it would be an easy 2, but Gross is gonna tripod here. So he's gonna post on his head, and he's gonna look to roll through for this funk roll. Remember, again, this is a base disruptor, so it's gonna get RBY's weight forward, it's gonna force a hand post, and it's gonna give Gross a chance to neutralize, so look for a stalemate or maybe even get a takedown of his own. So right there, RBY has to post. Gross has a leg, he's gonna look to keep that elevation, gets to a hand post, and even gets to a foot here. So RBY's got left elbow, left knee. Gross has, looks like left foot, left hand, and both guys are just trying to get to a better position. RBY does a great job maintaining that elevation here. So even though he gets his base disrupted, he keeps that elevation himself. He's actually gonna knock Gross down to his hips, but the positioning Gross has with that leg that he's controlling is gonna lead to a potentially dangerous call. Really, I think it would have been a stalemate anyways, whether this was called or not. You can see the position here. It's basically, for my jiu-jitsu people, it's a 50-50 position, as you will know. Instead of having the foot by the hip, it's more on the shoulder, but similar idea. A very stifling position, difficult to score here. So let's go through that just one more time, regular speed. So we've got 13 seconds left, RBY down 2, although he has a minute of riding time, so a 2-point takedown will win it for him at this point. So let's see what happens. Shoots in on the single. Gonna look for a body lock, inside trip, elevates the leg, but he's not able to finish it. So what happened? So here's the single. Gross gets out of it, wraps up the head here. So he gets that head control with the right arm. RBY is gonna look to build up to both feet, get that body lock. Right away he's gonna go for the inside trip, so his right leg's gonna hook. He's gonna leave the body lock and just try to block the back of the leg to drive through. And this is cool, I love how he uses that inside trip leg and he elevates it up. So he shifts all the weight to Gross's right leg in this case, and his hand is blocking that right leg. And so as he hips into him here, he's gonna be able to take him down. Really nice. But Gross is smart. Right away, he's gonna let go of that head control. And the elbow is really important here. He plants his right elbow, and then the whole key right now is he has to get his bottom leg free. So we've talked about this a lot recently. So Gross is on his right hip. The important leg is Gross's right leg. If he's able to thread that leg underneath, he can belly down and then maybe get to the knees and scramble out. If he's not, he's gonna be stuck on his hip. And the elbow is a really crucial way to quickly get that leg free. So he gets to his right elbow, and he quickly brings that right knee out here. So he gets his hips pointed down to the mat, maintains that whizzer, so the overhook with his left arm. RBY is gonna try this limp arm, but as he does it, Gross catches the bicep here. So he catches RBY's right bicep, And he's just gonna continue to defend, move away. To his credit, RBY keeps going for it, but it's just, he maintains that bicep control. There's only so much you can do with your arm totally tied up like that. And time's gonna run out. That's gonna be it. So let's just see that one more time. Really awesome takedown here. I love how he elevated that leg. And then Gross, the way he quickly bellied down. And that will do it for this video. If you guys have any questions or feedback, please feel free to leave a comment. If you'd like to support DPS breakdowns, you can do so at the Patreon link below. Thanks for watching.